All right, guys, welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different, but I feel like it'll be very informative. For those of you that have reached out and asked about advice and or giving your advice about running and owning business and businesses. We've been in this business 48 years. I've been in it since as long as I can remember, going to work with my dad, learning, and I feel very, very fortunate that I had a great mentor in that. But a lot of people don't have that luxury of having a good mentor to bring you up right. And my dad did not want me to be in this business. He always had the connotation of car dealers are sleazy. He ran a great business, and I don't think ever had a person talk sideways about him ever in all of his years prior to his passing. But the car dealership business does have a bad connotation. There's no two ways about it. But I've had so many business owners reach out to us recently. I've had 3 very close business friends that have closed their business, multi-generational businesses for most of the fact, but it doesn't make any sense any longer. Everything's so high, interest rates high, laborers are high, cost of goods is high, and a lot of them did not adapt. So the biggest piece of advice I can give any business owner is you have to adapt. You have to look at your expenses. You have to just stand back and look at life. Look at what your mortgage is. Look at what your grocery bill is. Look at what your fuel bill is. It doesn't matter what business you're in or not in. All those things are huge now, almost tripled in the last 5 to 10 years. But anyway, they say, hey, the car business, what's it all about? And again, I'm very multifaceted. Diverse against investments and other things, and other businesses and rental properties and things like that. The car business at the level we're at, it doesn't even make sense, but it's a hobby. It's a fun hobby for us. It's a great thing for our guys, and it's a business that we love and enjoy, and I'm going to carry it on for as long as I possibly can, just because it's something that my dad started, and I'll never give up on it. But it is harder and harder and harder every day that goes by. Sure, there's perks. The Lamborghini outside, I drove that home last night, took my beautiful girlfriend out for a ride. The kids wanted to go to school in it today, but I did it. I don't need to own a Lamborghini. I don't care. I currently own 2, but I don't need those. It's not a mental thing. A lot of people have to put on that persona, and that's not a big deal. Because of the fact, like I said, I drove it yesterday. I really don't need to drive it again. It's no big deal. That green and white square body right there, we just did a long video on. I love it. I could see what I could do to it and put it away in my garage and keep it. But again, what good is that going to do? It's not going to do any good at the end of the day because I don't necessarily need it. How's a day-to-day, go? Well, we've got a customer walking up, so we may get interrupted here. But I get up at like 5:30. I go to the gym. Another thing people say, and I even said it, is, why are you going to waste your time at the gym? You could go to work. You could be at work earlier. But I can tell you that I had really slacked off with. All right, so to show you how real life goes, we had a customer walk in, and unfortunately he didn't want to talk to anybody but me, so they sent him from across the street over here. So I had to help the customer, of course. So all day long, there's always, I'm not going to call that an interruption. We're going to take care of our customers. But I was talking about going to the gym. I always looked at guys and said, hey, why do you go to the gym? Why are you going to get up so early? Why are you going to waste an hour and a half at the gym? I would want to go to work, and that was what I did. I went to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I slacked off, and I was at 7. Then I was at 8. Then I was dragging to get in at 8:30. And it's because, one, I got a bunch older, put on some weight, and I guess you call it lethargic, I don't know. But my brother, Brian, actually said, hey, come to the gym with me. I go to the gym. He had some health concerns, and he was always smaller than me anyway, but he started going to the gym. I said, you know what, I'll do that. So got back to getting up early again, retrained my routine, and I will tell you, if you look at a lot of the successful guys out there, they're all buff and whatever, it's because their mind is clear. Exercise is a huge thing. My mom at 74 years old still exercises regularly, and she is sharp, and people think she's my sister, which kind of sucks. So I don't know if I'm old or my mom looks really young, but Exercise is huge. And like I said, I actually was one of those guys that made fun of those people going to the gym, but it's a mental thing and not as much as a physical thing as a mental thing. I can come to work after the gym, still get here at 8 o'clock and get more work done than when I got here at 6 or 7 because I'm ready, I'm active, I'm acclimated to the day, and I even feel better. So I still got a lot of pounds to lose, but we'll get there. So that's one thing, you know, don't stereotype that. If you're a business owner and you're at that point and you've been doing it as long as I have, you're going to get burned out. I sacrifice things by, you know, buying more stuff or getting other businesses or staying more busy. But the more you do that, you better have your mind right. Another thing I'll bring you a video about, which is very unfortunate that I happen to suffer with them, is what's called cluster headaches or suicide headaches. So if you look at the videos and you see these sores on my head constantly, it's because literally when I have these headaches that last for 20 to 30 minutes, usually in the middle of the night, I have to rub my head so hard I wish I could poke my fingers through my skull. And I literally rub sores on the side of my face that then my glasses rub. That's a whole another video that I want you guys to really be serious about when you watch it, because if you have a loved one that has that condition, we finally found through Googling, my girlfriend found a spot where it talked a lot about it and she could finally sympathize, not understanding. It is truly the world's most painful thing, far worse than labor of birth. There is no more painful thing that the human body can take than those headaches that I happen to unfortunately get. And I told you guys in one of the other videos, I was driving to an appointment. That was an appointment to get some medication because I hate medicine. And lo and behold, they have subsided. I have not had them over the last few days, but I have had them for like the last month, and I've had them since I was like 14 years old, and there's no cure at all, no surgery, nothing that can be done. And again, I hate medicine, but they come on so quick that even when you try to take medicine, it doesn't get in your system. It's going to be gone. But for the 15 or 30 minutes they last, you want to commit suicide, and that's why they call them suicide headaches. What is it triggered by? It may be stress, believe it or not. I attribute some of mine to my LASIK because of my eyes, but that doesn't go back to where I was 14 years old. So we'll do a video about that, and I'll tell you guys, because there are people out there that suffer with it, and if you are not one that suffers with it, but you have a husband, a wife, a child, it is something that you got to learn to cope with. And the particular website that we found helped her tremendously because she just couldn't understand it. She knew it was painful. I've severed fingers. I have no feeling in this one. I've pretty much cut off limbs and been like, hey, look, my finger came off, and I'm like, cool, chilling with it, you know. So I can take some pain, but that's a pain that is hard to tolerate. And we have another customer pulling up, but we'll get through the rest of this. If you're going to dedicate yourself to owning a business, you got to go all in. You got to make sure you have supportive people around you to go all in. It can still be sufficed this time and day, but it is tough. You're going to deal with stress, and if you can't deal with stress good, it's not for you. If you can deal with stress good, you better keep a handle on it. And where was I going with that? I had a lot of things people ask about this video. Real estate, a strong, positive. You really cannot go wrong with real estate. And again, my dad, we literally stood across the lot there, right underneath that sign, which me and him put up. And it was probably 10 years ago. And we were locking up and leaving, and it was probably 7:30. He said, you're going to be late to get home. You better get home. And I was like, it's fine. I'll get home. He said, oh, yeah, your mom's going to be mad. You know, I got food sitting there waiting. He said, son, he said, I'm glad you've been diverse. He said, I know I tried not to put you in this business, but you've done good adapting the business and changing. And at that time, we're always changing, you know, the square body thing. We've always done square bodies. Yes, they're more popular right now, so we do more with them. I wouldn't buy Lamborghinis if they didn't sell. I wouldn't sell tow trucks if they didn't sell. But I have to change gears all the time. I have to be constantly moving. I have to be constantly changing. Again, you know, the buildings, the overhead, it will take it out of you. And he said, you'll make some money in the car business, but you're not going to make a fortune. He said, you'll make a good, honest living. And he said, if you keep running it the way you have been, you'll have good customer base, which we do have. And he says, you don't even really need the advertising, which that's different today. You do need the advertising because we touch people all over the world that we would never touch any other way. He said, but you have good customer base that's not going anywhere. You take care of them. Today they're buying themselves a sports car. They're going to be too old for a sports car eventually. So then they're going to want to buy a sedan. And then they're going to be too old for that. And you're going to sell their sedan. And you will get them a handicap van to carry them around if they end up in a wheelchair. You're going to see people transition through life, which he did. And unfortunately, he watched a lot of his good customers pass away. And their grandkids are now customers of ours. So you can make it in any business. Business is business. Whether you're selling computers, whether you're selling bags of potato chips, whether you're selling jet skis, cars, merchandise, it doesn't really matter. It's all relative. Just put your heart and soul into it, but expect to put 10, 15 years out before you start seeing returns. And that's probably even worse today than it was then, because you're going to have to pay back your investments. Even if you're just wealthy, that money can do something elsewhere. You know, if you just have millions of dollars to throw around, you want to do a business, plan to watch that $1 million go away before you see a return. Or you could just invest it and not have to worry about it and sit at home. So there's a lot of ways to look at things. We enjoy what we do. I'm very pleased that people want to know how we do things, how we live our life. People said, do a day-to-day or a day-by-day or a step-by-step of how you do business. And we'll do more of that, you know, starting from the morning and going through and editing it, but we just typically don't have time. So we're going to wrap this one up. I don't want to get too long-winded, but we do appreciate it. Again, we've got a customer getting ready to walk in once again. So within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we've had several customers obviously come and go that I have to specifically talk to, but it's because they want specific answers. Not that Christian can't do a great job or Mike, but my guys know when the right customer for the right person needs to talk, especially on these custom vehicles, this equipment. They want to know, where did it come from? What's the background? Why is it here? That's fine. We can tell the story. We got the paperwork to back it up, and we're going to bring you a video of some Broncos here in a little while. I did forget about those 5 doors, and appreciate the support. And any questions you guys have, just reach out, just ask. We're here for you, and we're happy to answer them, even if it's about business, even if it's about how to start business, even if it's about a business problem you have. I have to keep going back to my dad and mom being huge mentors to other people in the industry, and I saw that again the other night when we had that dealer meeting. We want to continue to support that and do that. Even when they're long gone, I want to continue the legacy of things by supporting those in this business, other businesses, or just people in general. So thanks again for the support. Not the normal video, but there it is.